Morning, folks. Today's soap is brought to us by Herc Soap. I don't think this is in production any longer. In other words, I don't think they're making soap anymore either. But anyhow, the name of this one here is Morning Bliss, and it's coffee, mint, and vanilla. Nice scent for the morning. That's what it looks like there on the inside. It started out 4 ounces back when I bought this. It's whittled down just a bit, and decided to follow up with the Wet the Face Perfect cup, keeping the coffee scent type theme going. And off camera, I'll be using, this is a beard oil from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrement, and you might be able to see the name of it there, you know, keeping the coffee theme, Java Hive, keeping that theme going right along with everything going on this morning. And I got it whipped up here in a fine accoutrements lathering bowl. There you go. Yeah, I got it a little bit everywhere. Whipped it up with a, this is a Crown King shaving brush. This is, how you say, a few years back. But anyhow, it whips up really nice. I think that this knot was referred to as a Dura knot. I think Durasoft, something like that. I can't remember for sure. It's something like that. But anyhow, it still works just fine. It's a nice knot. It's a nice brush. I like it. Blades of choice today. This is the box that it comes in. You don't see these too terribly often, but this is the Schick Proline. This is a P30. Now this is the Feather Artist Club style blade, and the P20 would be more like the injector style for like a Schick shaver or something like that. And this is what the dispenser looks like. And it has a place on the back side where you can, right there you can see your blades. You can tell where you're getting kind of low. I have it in a, this particular shaver is no longer made by iKon. The head is iKon. This one here is El Jefe. And this is the 4th or 5th shave. I think it's the 4th shave. Yeah, I've kind of lost track. I'll have to go back and count. I'll put it on the, on the information down below. But when I got this head, it was a blemish head. And the only thing I could really tell that was, how can you say, outstanding, noticeable when you first looked at it, was the fact that on the threads there were some flat spots. But when you tighten it up, snug it up with the handle, didn't even notice it. Didn't have, in other words, have any effect on it. The only other thing I could think that might have been a blemish, and it depends on how you want to look at it or how you interpret it. You can kind of see there on the post there that there's a little bit of a gap there. The way I load the blade, put things together, I've never had an issue with it. And I think it's just because I have a routine when it comes to these sort of things, that how I load it, tighten it up, and so on and so forth, that it's, how you say, since I got a system going, it's consistent. So it's either always right or always wrong. And so far it's always been right for me. Off camera, I've been shaving with this setup. This is a stainless steel handle that I got from Mac Metalworks. Mac Metalworks doesn't make this sort of thing anymore, unfortunately, but for me, this setup works really nice. As it goes for the shave feel, that blade, for me, I kind of associate it with an injector blade type feel. In other words, it doesn't feel like a Kai Pink, and I don't really feel like it feels like a Feather Artist Club Super. It really reminds me of an injector type feel. At least that's how I view it. Already put a hot towel to face this morning, so we'll go ahead and get started with the Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Preshave Cube. This one here is the Holliday version, at least what's left of it. It is getting smaller. It does last quite a while. I did notice there was an email that was sent out that mentioning, I guess if you're looking for the Preshave Cube Evil, that if you want, you might want to pick it up. It's kind of like, I think it's one of those seasonal things where they'll take it off the market for a while, and then it may or may not come back. But anyway, just a thought out there if you guys are really interested in the Preshave cubes. There's several different flavors over the year that's came out. Peach, Rabbit Banana, Evil. This one here's the Holiday. Then of course you got your typical menthol one. Then you got the one that I think it's got charcoal in it that's mentholated or unmentholated or unscented, and I mean, just it goes on and on and on. There's all kinds of different ones out there over the year. So it's kind of one of those things, when you see it, you might want to get it before it falls out of season, sells out, and they'll wait till the next year perhaps to do it, or whatever the case might be. But yeah, Preshave cubes do last quite a while, and they do some of the sometimes not very often, because it's been a while since I've seen one in a tube. I mean, they have the mentholated and the charcoal one. I've seen, in other words, two different kind of tubes for Preshave, but I have not seen, in other words, clown fruit, for instance. I've got one from years gone by that's a clown fruit, but I don't know that it's ever been put in a tube again. Just throwing that out there. Kind of like if you see it in a tube and it's a different flavor than what you normally see, you might want to hop on it. It's kind of a rare thing, I think. The tube ones are great for travel. Man, this smells great. I lost track of Herc soap. Don't know what happened to them. I've got a few of their soaps. I like the scents. They're pretty straightforward for my nose. I have no problems lathering it up. Matter of fact, I had leather going everywhere this morning. And like I said, for me, this setup in between the blade and this head works really well for me. The handle, by the way, since it is stainless steel, it's got a lot of weight behind it. I bet you the handle itself is a good 3.5 ounces, maybe more. It is heavy. So it's kind of a one of those shades you definitely want to pay attention to your pressure. Just enough, gentle pressure, just enough to get it to glide across the face. But like blades and these kind of heads, may not be for everybody. And if you're looking for this one here from iKon, you'll probably have to go the buy, sell, trade route. I'm not sure when this came out. 2016 maybe? Is when the head came out, perhaps. Since there is a little bit of play in the cap and the base plate, and of course how you place the blade, in other words, it's not super tight tolerance there, you will want to pay attention to how you put it together. Just something to pay attention to. But for me, like I say, I have a particular way how I put things together. Have a tendency to always do it that way. So for me, I run into less issues than what maybe some other folks might. I think what had happened, reason why I'm like that, is because back when I first started, before, how can you say, things started improving on three-piece design razors, there was always, on the DE blades, in other words, the heads, there's always, you got to, adjust it just a tiny bit to get it, where it lines up good. So when I first started, that seems to be typical with a lot of the three-piece razors. So I developed my way of putting things together to help ensure that right from the get-go, things were put together without minimal fuss, in other words. This scent is pretty nice. It's a nice combination with the coffee, the mint, and the vanilla. So in other words, the coffee's not overwhelming, and the mint and the vanilla kind of even things out. Excuse me. It was a pretty good idea, putting those scents together, at least for my nose. I don't remember what size knot this is. It seems like it's 26 millimeter, but this is a pretty nice brush. And if you keep up with college football, things were a little exciting over Saturday. Oh, I tell you what, sometimes you just never know how a team's going to perform. And some teams actually, in other words, Oregon. I watched the highlights of last week's Oregon's game, and it didn't really look that impressive to me. Looked like they might be struggling this year, and they turned right around and, pull off an upset. So you never know sometimes. sometimes it, for me, keeping up with various teams is kind of fun in college football because, like I say, you don't always know what you're going to get, what's going to happen in a game. Somebody gets injured. Somebody just has an off day. And then, it happens. Everybody has an off day. For instance, this shave was supposed to be yesterday. I woke up with such a bad headache. Like, no, I don't. As a matter of fact, I wasn't even too sure if I was going to shave or not. My head was killing me. But I did end up shaving, though. You can kind of see, for me, this soap has always lathered up really easy for me. It has a nice creamy feel to it. Alright, against the gearing pass here. That is one thing about these blades being longer than your typical DE or injector blade. It covers a lot of area in a hurry. So if you like to shorten up your time in your shave, you might want to look at these kind of blades. Now I've got a link down below to iKon website. Like I said, they don't make this head anymore. They don't have any, matter of fact, single edge heads at all, at least right now. Maybe one day they'll get back into it, maybe not. I know for me, like I say, I got this one as a blemish. I think I paid a whole $25 for it. It was a while back when I got it. And I've had good luck with it. Hadn't had any issues with it, but like I say, if you watch some other videos, you'll see some that, in other words, I guess you might say alignment issues might have been part of the problem, but like I say, I learned early on with those DE heads that weren't quite, the tolerance was only so much because, the way they were made, the technology of the day, what was available on these 3-piece razors, in other words, and they weren't Gillettes, in other words, but anyway, I learned quite a bit back then just because of those kind of shavers. Phoenix Artisan accoutrements, alum block, complete with rubber band. See how much stinging we get. Got a little bit right there. A little bit right there. Not a whole lot. And considering that, in other words, we're getting 4th, 5th shave, in other words, we're starting getting into the, I guess you might say, longer in the tooth. And for me, when it comes to blades, I don't always go, in other words, 10 shaves on a blade. Every once in a while, I might do it just to test it out. But yeah, this shave went pretty well. Yeah, this would be the 4th shave on this one. All right. Witch Hazel. This one here is unscented, but it is mentholated from Stirling. And I will show you this side, but that's what the back side looks like too, if that's an interest to you. A little bit of information back there. As it goes for witch hazel, is one witch hazel better than another witch hazel? If it's, how you say, all things created equal, in other words, it's not scented, it's not mentholated, it's just straight up witch hazel. I don't know if there's that much of a difference between one or another. In other words, I have bought what some may call it off-brand, in other words, Equate from Walmart, and just just to compare them, I couldn't really tell the difference. I mean, to me it seems like witch hazel is witch hazel, but this one here though, there is a difference. I mean, in that, for instance, Equate, there's nothing added to it. In other words, in the way of aloe, for instance, aloe is added to this one here. So in that respect, you get what you pay for, depending on what your needs are. If you get the aftershave that's already got that sort of thing in it, wouldn't worry too much about your witch hazel unless witch hazel is the only thing you're using. Perfect cup. I was really glad when Don came out with this one here. It's just a really straightforward, bold coffee scent. What you would smell like in a percolator first thing in the morning. Man, it smells good. I like coffee scents. It's kind of like cigar scents to me. I enjoy those scents. Going to be smelling good this morning, that's for sure. Already fixed a cup of coffee for the wife. I had a great shave this morning. Like I say, I've got links down below if you want to check some of the stuff out. Also, as it goes for the Schick Proline, the P30. For me, just a quick, easy search. Italian Barber was a quick place, easy place to not only had it, but also had it in stock. Sometimes that's the key, is finding one in the stock. But anyway, had a great shave. Hope everybody's doing well. Stay safe, stay healthy, and smooth shaves to you.